Hola a todos, it's Pam again. Hi everybody. Whew. It is week number 4 for ESL2 class. If you are joining me today, that means that you are working hard at your English, that you already have a good base of it and working to learn more. So you are with me today for an ESL Level 2 class, the intermediate. We're going to practice today some more irregular verbs and continue learning about the present and the present continuous and the past forms of these verbs. So I'm sorry this lesson is coming to you a little later than regular schedule. If you can see behind me, I am back at work. I'm a teacher at a local high school, so I have been getting ready for the school years to start. So that's why I'm running behind. But just for fun, here is my office behind me. I thought you'd have fun seeing everything in my office. So this is where I work, and I finished my day today, and I knew we had to get this done, so I'll finally have a second to get this recorded for you. All right, are you ready to start? I'm ready. So let's start from the beginning slide. Let me hide this. We've got a lot to do today. Like I said, we are going to be practicing some more irregular verbs. And we're also going to look again at the present continuous form, which we already know. We're going to practice some more with it. So last week, you saw this screen that reminded us that the present of the verb wash is I wash my hands before dinner, I am washing, and I washed. And then we reminded ourselves with a you wash, you are washing, and you washed your hands before dinner. And then he washes, he is washing, and he washed. Okay, those are all our singular forms with the pronoun, right? And we know that the continuous form, as we're seeing in the highlighted forms here, it's I am, you are, and he is in the singular form. Okay, well, let's remind ourselves what also the plural forms of pronouns look like. So we wash our hands, we are washing, and we washed in past tense. And for they, it is they wash in present, they are washing, and they washed. So quick reminders of everything. Present means it's happening now, right, in the current form. Present continuous means it is continuously happening, it's currently happening. And then we know that past form of verbs is the ed ending. When we washed our hands, it would happen in the past. And we add that ed ending. But we're going to take a look today at our verbs in the past form that are irregular, meaning that they have a completely different change of spelling, and they do not have the ed. So this is something that you'll probably have to remember, commit to memory, and practice, practice, practice. So I've made some new slides. Let's go over them one by one and talk about it. So the present of this picture here, it's almost dinner time, so I'm really hungry already. So I see this woman eating a big juicy hamburger. So the present is I bite into the juicy hamburger. And if it's present continuous, it's I am biting into the juicy hamburger. Okay, what is the past form of bite? Do you know? Oh, yes, you do know. I bit into the juicy hamburger. Okay, let's say that again. I bit, bit. So here's the thing, that's a short I sound, bit. When we have the silent E at the end, that makes it a long I sound, so that's why it's bite. So I bite, I am biting, and I bit into the hamburger. All right, that's the past form. Let's see what else we have. Okay, here's a young man, and it's his birthday, blowing out the candles. So let's see the present. He blows out the candles on his birthday cake. He blows. Now we're going to add that S because it's with the singular form of he, she. We're adding that S. He blows. If I said, I blow my candles out, that's without the S. But for he, it's he blows, right, out the candles on his birthday cake. Present continuous is he is blowing out the candles on his birthday cake. Okay, what's the past form of blows or blow? Yes, good job. He blew out the candles on his birthday cake. Now, let's stop for a second. Blue is a color, right? Azul. In English, we spell the color B-L-U-E. But for this, for blowing up something with air, or in general, it's B-L-E-W. So that's different, isn't it? So they both sound alike, but they're different in their spelling. So he blew out the candles. Good job. Okay, let's see what our next one is. Okay, there's a woman flying. So our present is she flies home to see her family during the summer. Flies. So she is flying, she flies home. We change that. So if I say it, and if I were to change that to the I form, I fly home, that would be different. You know what? I think, okay, yeah, that's true. So if I said I fly home, it's F-L-Y. But if it's she flies home, we have to change that format, right? So that's, oh, I didn't think about how tricky that would be for you. But anyway, she flies home. That's the way we spell it. Now she is flying home. Now see this fly? That's the regular fly verb with the ing added. She is flying home to see her family during the summer. Okay, now I put this slide here on purpose because the past form of fly is what? It rhymes with the word that we had before. So if the one was blue, right? The one before we had was blow, and blue is the past. So flies rhymes with that. She flew home to see her family during the summer. Okay, so that's why I posted this slide right after the other one, because they sound alike. So flew, right, or blue, that sounds alike. It's that EW sound, flew home to see her family. Okay, let's see what other slides we have next. Oh, here's another one that's following that same pattern. Let's take a look. So I draw in my notebook during art class. Okay, now let's do present continuous. I am drawing. Good. I am drawing in my notebook during art class. Good job. Now let's look at the past. What do you think that is? Yes, you're catching on. You've got it. I drew in my notebook during art class. Drew. So it was blow earlier, and it's blue, and then it's fly and flew, and now we're in draw and drew. You see that sound coming out? Drew. I drew in my notebook. Okay, nice job. Whew, let's see what else we got here. Okay, little different. This one's not related. Let's just take a look at this one. Boy, is this like what we do right now to go in the grocery store? If she's shopping, I wear a mask while grocery shopping. I wear a mask while grocery shopping. Good job. What is the present continuous form of this? I am wearing a mask while grocery shopping. I am wearing a mask. Good. What about the past? Now, this is a different spelling. Take a look at this. I wore a mask while grocery shopping. That's the past tense. Let's say that again. I wore a mask while grocery shopping. Okay, wore. It kind of sounds like war as in a battle, but it's W-O-R-E, war. Good job. And I hope, just a little side note here, I hope that wherever you go, you are wearing your mask. It's very important to be wearing a mask these days to keep you safe. Okay, let's look at our next slide. Ooh, I like this one. So I see flowers and a young man and a woman. Let's see what the sentence is. So he brings flowers to his girlfriend. Nice, smart man. So he brings flowers. That's present. What do you think the past? Oh, no, present continuous is next. So yes, he is bringing flowers to his girlfriend. Good job. Now past, this is a little different, isn't it? So if it's brings in the present, what's the past? He brought flowers to his girlfriend. Brought. Now take a look at these. Brings, right? With the ing, brings. And then the past, we are totally switching up the spelling to brought. He brought flowers to his girlfriend. That's why English can be so difficult. So it's okay that you don't know that. Now you're learning it. It's something that you're going to have to commit to memory because it's just a little different. Okay, let's see if we have anything else that can go with this. Okay, so if that was brought in the past, this one kind of goes with it in its sound. So here is a dad and a son, and they're learning to drive a car. So the father teaches his son how to drive a car. The father teaches his son how to drive a car. Good job. What about the present continuous? Yes, the father is teaching his son how to drive a car. Good job. Is teaching. All right. What do you think is the past tense of teach? Good. Taught. The father taught his son how to drive a car. The father taught. So that sounds a little like the one we just had. Brought, the boyfriend brought flowers, and this is the father taught. Taught, brought. It sounds a little similar, but we're going to have to make all those sounds with our mouths as we say it. Taught. Okay, here we go. The next word that we're going to look at also sounds like that. So let's take a look. The family buys a house, a new house on Taylor Street. The family buys a new house on Taylor Street. Okay, what is the present continuous form of that? Good. The family is buying a new house on Taylor Street. The family is buying. So buys, is buying now. Let's think about the past tense of buy. Do you know what that is? Good. You're right. It is bought. The family bought a new house on Taylor Street. Bought. So taught, bought, right? Remember that sound? And brought. Oh, see, now here's a word. When the boyfriend in the 2 slides ago, he brought flowers, that's the same word almost, but with that R. And if you're only buying, it's bought. The family bought a new house. Ooh, these can be tricky. Okay, let's take a look at what else we have. Another one that rhymes. Let's take a look at this picture. The bear catches a fish in the river. The bear catches a fish in the river. Nice, good. Okay. The bear is catching a fish in the river. Yes, is catching. So we have catches, is catching, Okay, what's the past tense if it rhymes with the ones we just did? Okay, the bear caught a fish in the river. Caught. So bought, taught, caught, all that sound you're saying, and you have to say it with that T at the end, caught, bought, taught. I'm trying to remember all of the words that we learned. Good job. Okay, let's move on. I think we have some new ones next. Okay, this is different. So here's the sun, right? Rising in the morning. So let's see what the sentence is. What a beautiful picture too, right? The sun rises in the east each morning. The sun rises in the east each morning. Okay, what about the present continuous? The sun is rising in the east each morning. The sun is rising in the east each morning. Good. All right, now here's something different. If the sun rises, in the past, the word is rose. The sun rose in the east each morning. So you're saying, Pam, there's a flower like that, the rose, right? Yes, you're right. There is a flower that's the rose, and it's spelled the same way. But this rose means to rise up or in the past, right? So the sun rose. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, I love this picture. The dad reads to his children before bed each night. The dad reads to his children before bed each night. What a good habit to have, right? To read to your children. Let's look at present continuous. The dad is reading to his children before bed each night. The dad is reading. Okay, very good. Now, what do you think is the past tense of read? Okay, let's check it out. Now, here it is. Before I say it, notice this part in the parentheses because that's how you say it. The dad read, like the color, read to his children before bed each night. The dad read. Now, take a look at the spelling from up here. Reads and read. Let me tell you something. It's spelled the same way. And you just have to know that if it's in the past, you say read, like the color. And if it's in the present, it's reads. So it's different changing in sound. You just have to think about it. In the present, I read or I read each night before going to bed. The dad reads, all that. But if it's in the past, I read or the dad read. And that's why we have this here, the color red, because that's the way it sounds when you say it. Okay. Whew, what else do we have? Oh, another pretty image of the beach holding hands. How lovely. So the sentence is, they hold hands as they walk along the beach. They hold hands as they walk along the beach. All right, that's nice. Let's do present continuous. They are holding hands as they walk along the beach. They are holding hands. Good. Now, what do you think is the past of hold? It might be something you haven't heard very often. They held hands as they walk along the beach. So that's the past. They held hands. So hold with the O and with the E, it's held, held hands. Now, don't forget when you're saying that, you're pronouncing that D at the end. Held, held hands as they walked along the beach. Good. Okay. Oh, I love this one as the students get ready to go back to school, um, virtually, but still, here we are. Let's look at one with this one. The students understand the math lesson from the teacher. The students understand. So if we say the students, it's like saying they understand. So what would be the present continuous? The students are understanding. It's like saying they are understanding the math lesson from the teacher. Good. So what do you think is the past form of understand? So if students understand or I understand, the past would be good. The students understood the math lesson from the teacher. So understand, right, is present, but understood. Let's say that one more time. Understood the math lesson. So that's the difference. Stand and stood, the difference at the ending there of that word is what changes. Next one. I think this is our last one. I pay my bills at the beginning of each month. I pay. Okay, let's do present continuous. I am paying my bills at the beginning of each month. I am paying my bills. Good. What about the past of pay? What do you think that is? You're correct. Let's see how to spell it. I paid my bills at the beginning of each month. I paid my bills at the beginning of each month. So notice this P-A-Y, pay, changes to paid for the past tense. I don't know why it's spelled that way or why it changes so much. That's just what we do in English to go from present to past with the verb pay. Pay and paid. Okay. Wow, that was a lot to learn. Now we have a reading that I'd like to practice, and I will tell you it's very interesting. It's about archaeology. We were looking at professions and different things this past summer with all the readings we were doing. This one is about early people in Central American land bridge, and it talks about what the archaeologists have found. So I thought it'd be good, but I will say it's a little challenging, the reading, but we are going to learn two new vocabulary words with this, which I thought would be good for you to know and see them in the reading. So the first one is permanent. Permanent. This is an adjective, and what that means is that it's lasting or meant to last for a very long time. So in the reading, you will see the sentence, they had no permanent houses, meaning that their houses did not last very long. So permanente is in Spanish, the form, so it's the same sounding, but to be permanent means long lasting, kind of like a tattoo, right? A tattoo is permanent, right? It doesn't go away. Something like that is permanent. So look at this one, evidence. Evidence is a noun, something that gives proof for or a reason to believe. So in the reading we're going to do, it's archaeologists don't find evidence of these tools very often, meaning that they don't find proof. So when you have a crime scene or something like that, to prove that somebody did it, you have to have evidence. So that's what we're talking about. In Spanish, evidencia. So very good. Now, let's go ahead and leave this page, go into our reading. Here it is. I'm going to move up my slide up here for just a second. And we're going to read this, this reading together. I thought it would be interesting for some history lessons for many of our participants in ESL that may be here from Central America. It's something for us to learn, a history lesson, and learning about archaeology at the same time. So let me move up the screen. There is, oh, I forgot about napping. We'll learn that too. There is the first page that we're going to start with. I'm going to use my pointer, and you're going to read with me. We'll read slowly and see what we can learn. Here we go. People have been living in Central and South America for many, many years now. How did ancient people live in this area thousands of years ago? Archaeologists study the area of the Central American land bridge have been working to answer this question. What is the Central American land bridge? It is the land that is now the countries of Costa Rica and Panama. Like a modern bridge over a river, this land bridge was used by animals and people to travel back and forth. This Central American land bridge connects the northern land that is now Nicaragua, Mexico, and so on to the southern land that is now Colombia, Brazil, and other South American countries. Okay, good job. Let's keep going. People who were already living in North America traveled down and across this land bridge. Scientists think they traveled there around 11,000 BC. They probably were following large animals that they hunted and ate. These people would have traveled on foot, following the herds of animals. They had no permanent houses. So there's that vocabulary word. And we said permanent means long-lasting, staying. And they're saying that they did not have long-lasting houses. So they moved around a lot. They would pack up their things and bring them along as they hunted. Their homes were like tents, and they were very easy to take down and put up. Archaeologists can tell these people traveled via the land bridge because they have found similar arrowheads and the tools in both the land bridge and in the areas further north and south. These tools are the main record of people's movement and settlement. Ancient people at this time made their tools by hand out of stone. Later, they used obsidian, which is a dark glass formed in the volcanoes. They made small hand axes, arrowheads, and spearheads by knapping. Okay, look at that word. Stop right there. The word is K-N-A-P-P, but guess what? In that word, we don't say the K, so it's napping. We only say the N. That's something different, isn't it? So napping is when, let's move it up. You hit one stone with another to break off little pieces. Slowly, you can shape the stone however you want. When certain stones, like obsidian or flint, break, they leave very sharp edges, which can be used to cut. Archaeologists don't find evidence. That's that word we learned. That means proof, right? Evidence of these tools very often. When so much time passes, natural things like rain, dirt, and trees destroy and bury them. Scientists also think the oceans were lower back then. This means there once was more land that is now underwater. Probably there is more evidence or proof of people living in the area under the sea off the coast of Costa Rica and Panama. It is hard to tell when people stopped traveling along the land bridge and began living there. One clue is when people began farming. On the land bridge, This was around 9,000 and 7,000 BC. In Panama, scientists have found evidence that people were growing bottle gourds, squash, and a few other things around that time. These would be in small gardens, not big farms. People weren't eating just the plants they grew at this time. They would gather fruits and nuts from the forest, hunt deer, fish for crabs and fish, and eat from their gardens. Archaeologists now think that some forests were actually farms too, which makes it harder to determine when hunting and gathering stopped. Places we once thought were wild were perhaps maintained by ancient people. This would be like an apple orchard. It looks like a forest, but has actually been planted and taken care of by humans. You wouldn't know it was a farm for apples unless you looked more closely. The same thing probably happened on the Central American land bridge and elsewhere. Ooh, more, I forgot. Oh, goodness, we have some more. Here we go. We're almost done. Hang in there with me. Slowly, people built more permanent houses on the land bridge. The first small village archaeologists have found is in Costa Rica in a place called Tronadora Vieja. There are round pole and thatch houses, which are simple huts made out of long tree branches covered in leaves and grasses. These houses date to 3,800 BC and were destroyed when a nearby volcano exploded and buried them in ash. Scientists also found the earliest maize kernels on the land bridge, as well as matatas. Matatas are small stone tablets used to grind maize into powder. This was used in cooking and baking like flour. Nearby at Laguna Zancho, archaeologists found a bigger village with more houses and farms. People started living here after Tronadora Vieja around 3,240 BC. People were still hunting and gathering at this time, though. Why did some people settle down to farm and some people continue moving around? There are lots of ideas, but on the land bridge, archaeologists think it had to do with the amount of rain and water in the area. Places that had less water made it harder for the forest to remain full of fruits and animals. So in these dry areas, people started to farm more, build houses, and stay put, meaning that they didn't go anywhere. So some groups kept hunting and gathering while others were starting to build and farm. Archaeologists are still studying this part of the world. Hopefully, in the years to come, we can find out more about how ancient people lived on the Central American land bridge. Whew, that was a long reading. I'm sorry if that was too long for you. It was a long one, but you know what? We learned some things. I didn't know a lot about that. So that's our reading for today. We have done irregular verbs. We finished our lesson 4. And so next week, or at the end of this coming week, we should have lesson 5 ready to go, hopefully. I am so glad to see you again. Keep practicing, keep coming to these videos and practicing with me. I will try to get them out as soon as I can. We have one more to go, and then we'll see what we'll do for this fall, what we can create for this fall. If you have any suggestions or ideas, you're always welcome to contact me at my email address, which is down below here. I'd be happy to get any of your ideas or if you have suggestions. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming today. I'm glad we got to visit again. Take care.